convert on 3rd and inches.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They'll run on 1st down with Moss. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd and 2, Allen. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. So the shotgun snap to Allen. He'll drop this underneath to Moss. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
Well, don't tell any defensive coordinator I played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams, because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot, if that's what they want to do.
It's a 47-yard field goal try from here, but instead they're going to opt to go for it on 4th down. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. That's going to set them back 5 yards.
Still 4th down.
Out there is Rodrigo Blankenship in the field goal unit. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
7, Bills nothing.
So here are the Eagles to take over. They've got the lead right now in this ball game, and they got the victory last week against the Rams, so some good momentum as they come up 1st and 10.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy, because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over, and it's a big kick. But now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong, because they have plenty of leg.
Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Shotgun now for Wentz. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3 and out and giving the ball back to their offense.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game, because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here?
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Throwing is Allen on third. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Daron Payne able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely he's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake the...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
They'll take over.
You're looking there, the defensive back was maybe a step slower than he was when he came into the league a decade ago. I know I questioned his speed coming into the game, but what he's lost in speed, he's more than made up for it with intellect. And that's a great job of knowing how to position himself to make that interception.
Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. On 2nd and 9, Allen. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. That'll be caught. Rager with it. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9. A reminder coming up at halftime. We'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. Eluding the pressure right. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Pick up of 2. Brings up 2nd and goal at the 7-yard line.
And he's got it. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Carson Wentz with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because... thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Taken in the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to... The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0 the score as they regroup with 1st and 10. And this one is incomplete.
Well, already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
Throwing right, and that's complete. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42, and out will come the offense as they take over. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the 2nd quarter. So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. To throw, it's Wentz. Deep ball for Goodwin. And that's caught inside the 30. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Wentz on the give to Sanders. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Elliott on for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this 1st half as the kick's away. Fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Allen. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Intended for Miles Boykin. Incomplete.
So line of scrimmage still a 39 on 2nd and 10. A final shot before half for Allen. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent is really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To throw is Wentz. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Quez Watkins, the intended target, and it's third down.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Watkins.
Wentz's pass.
And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34.
I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we've got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage. I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On play action, it's Wentz. And that will be incomplete. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. He'll set up to throw from the gun, finding Knox there, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They hand off to their big tight end. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the Eagles' 40-yard line.
On 2nd and 11 now. Allen, quick hitter here. It's complete. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 26. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football. But right now, they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. 3rd quarter action from Philadelphia, PA. To throw again. Allen. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. He's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Daron Payne giving him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. Blankenship's kick is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18.
Bills 3.
So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Yeah, boy, it is tough to bring him down that time. He surges forward. He's going to get a full 6 out of that. 2nd down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
Wentz now to throw. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
That's good for an Eagle.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st down, Wentz. Flushed out right. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing is Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he's got a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 36. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think he continued to do so.
Wentz now on first down. Over the middle, he's got Watkins. And he'll be pulled down, and now a late flag will come with it. And that's in the area of a face mask, I think. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
Here comes Sanders on the toss right, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
He's to the 10, and quickly finding Reagor. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Carson Wentz with touch. Down pass number 4 on the afternoon. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And they open the lead up now to 25 points.
Is good.
A drive that time of 6 plays. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
25-yard.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
A gain of
12 yards that time, and a Bills first down. Allen to throw once more. Left side caught by Diggs. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown.
complete to number
Stephon Diggs. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bills get a bit closer. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Eagles dodge a bullet. They cover it up. The fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
On first down, Sanders. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. They fake the give. Now Wentz. Caught by the tight end Ertz. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
To Zach Ertz.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. 1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. Running on first down is Mostert, but he can only manage a yard, and that's about it before he's tackled.
He was brought down at the 28-yard line. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and...
On 2nd down, it's Sanders. And he's got room. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult, but guess who's smiling, but inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Elliott good with a PAT, and they open the lead up now to 25.
kickoff for Philadelphia.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on second down, and that leads to a tough third down call. Working out of the shotgun, here's Allen. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now a desperation throw deep downfield, and they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Eagles are going to take over in great field position.
Let's go!
Wentz to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. A little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for Philadelphia, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Jets.